next stage is how to start conversing to a stranger. So
Hmm.
here I was asking you a lot of questions. You never
Yeah.
asked anything about me, but I did
Yes.
volunteer, isn't it? So that's the art of trying to make a conversation. Now,
Yeah.
what are some
Yeah.
of the changes that you're facing physically?
I feel like now, as we are a teenager, we are not really a kid. We are not a small child anymore. I
Hmm.
have seen that my parents
Would you like to share
act.
any challenging experiences that you had in the past?
Okay, so once
Yes,
I
I
went for
can. Good evening,
trekking.
Arundhati.
Good evening.
Did I pronounce your name correctly?
And yeah, it's Arundhati.
Right. Where are you from?
I'm from the state of Chhattisgarh.
All right. And how old are you?
I'm 13 years old actually.
Oh, right, right. So tell me, what brings you here?
Okay, so I joined Clapingo way back, I think in 2021, and at that time I wanted to improve my fluency in English, and I wanted to learn new vocabularies and just improve my spoken English, and that's why I joined Clapingo, and I've seen a lot of improvement now.
Right. Yes, even I feel so. You are a confident speaker. You express yourself so well. So would you be able to tell me what exactly was the topic mentioned in the
I
session
think it
notes?
was challenges about
Yeah.
challenges.
Oh, right, right, right. Great. Would you like to share any challenging experiences that you had in the past?
Okay, so once I went for trekking and
Mm,
and it was a waterfall trekking, you can say, because we had to trek for a little while, then we saw a waterfall, and then
mm,
we trekked again for a little while, and then we saw again a few waterfalls. So it was just a series of waterfalls, and we went for trekking on a mountain, and it was a trekking. If it was a trek of I think 12 to 13 kilometers, and the
right.
mountain was very steep and it was so difficult to trek there, and I went there with my mother and we both decided that we are not going to go ever again for a trek because it is so challenging and difficult to climb that high, and the problem was that the altitude was very high and we were facing some differences in the oxygen level up there. It was very difficult to climb up and down, and it wasn't like once you have gone up and then it's all straight and flat. It wasn't like that at all. It's once up, then again down, then again you have to climb up. It was so difficult, and I think it was one of the most difficult challenges that I have ever
And,
experienced.
and was it your first trekking experience?
Yes, it was.
Yes, maybe because of that. See, normally what happens is that trekking is not that bad, but for some
Hmm.
reason, as you told, you told me waterfalls trekking, isn't it? So
Yeah,
definitely the
yeah.
trekking track, I think it will be definitely be slippery. Was it slippery?
Hmm.
All right
A
then,
little bit.
little bit slippery. So it is not very comfortable, isn't it? We are not
Yeah.
used to it, right?
Hmm.
Which was the location?
It was in one of the villages in Chhattisgarh. It is known as Garyaband. The village is Garyaband, and the trekking was known as Chingra Pagar trekking.
Oh, Chandra, I
It's
am
a
not very
difficult
familiar
name.
with that.
Yeah.
Right, right. Maybe after some years, once you become a little more older, you can
Hmm.
try it out. Hmm, right.
Yeah.
All right. Normally, what do you do during your daytime?
I usually read books or watch
Hmm.
the TV.
Hmm. Oh, right. All right. What sort of books do you normally enjoy reading?
So I love to read fictional books, but lately I have been reading a few Ruskin Bond books.
Right, right. All right. Okay. Okay. Now, coming back to challenges, as a student, you're 13 years old. Yes. So let's say you're entering into the teenage, isn't it?
Yeah.
What are some
Yeah.
of the changes that you're facing physically?
I feel like now, as we are a teenager, we are not really a kid. We are not a small child anymore. I
Hmm.
have seen that my parents act like if I make a mistake or if I'm just lacking somewhere or just being lazy, then my parents just go like, "You're not a kid anymore. You have to study for your future." And they just they have this like we have this mentality now that we have to start working now, we have to think about our future. But when we were kids, like when I was 10 years old, we didn't really think that much about the future. So now we have this thing that we want to prepare for our future. So I think that's a change that I have noticed.
And you feel burdened by that particular change?
A little bit
A
sometimes,
little.
because on weekends I'm used to waking up really late, but now my
Hmm.
parents say that if you wake up late, you're going to lose on the precious time. So that's a
Precious
thing.
time for precious time for doing what?
Study, I guess.
Oh, right. So I think you're a studious person. What do you think?
Yes,
You
I
are.
am.
Right. You're giving me those kind of vibes, studious student. I
Oh.
never used to enjoy learning. In fact, whenever I had my examinations, I used to tell my mother, I'm going up, I'll be studying. But I used to lock the door and I used to sleep. I never
Oh.
enjoyed studying. Do you enjoy?
I enjoy studying, but not in the school. When I'm studying on my own, a self study, that is good. But when I'm studying in the school, I do not really enjoy it that much.
Right. How is the education system in your place? I'm not really sure whether is it okay to ask this to a 13-year-old because I'm so old now that I can't remember what was my state of being when I was 13. What do you think
Hmm.
of the education system in your city?
I think it's okay. It's not too good, not too bad. I
Hmm.
feel like we have a lot of our focus on just the main subjects, that is maths and science. We do not
Hmm.
really pay that much attention to other subjects. And
Right.
whenever we ask a topper or a scholar that what is their favorite subject, and then they say something that is not maths or science, then there's this shock and there's this surprising emotion on everyone's face that how can a scholar or a topper like something that is not maths and science? So there is just this mentality in everyone's mind that maths and science are the only important subjects. And
Hmm.
I think that's a bad thing about the education system. I feel like there should be more focus on all these subjects equally. And
Right.
I've seen that we have to carry a lot of books, and we have a lot of books in our bags. Therefore, our shoulders have a lot of
Right.
burden on them. Hmm.
Right. Absolutely. I agree with that. Do you have uniform in your place? Uniforms? Right.
Yes, we
Right. Right. I'm so sorry. I did not introduce myself. Right. I was so curious about you. So my name is Ammu Alice and I hail from Kerala. So in
have.
Kerala, the climate is super hot. And as a child, I used to carry a big bag full of books. Plus, we had to wear a pinafore uniform, as well as shoes and socks. And the socks has to be stretched up to your, I think, up to your knee.
Oh.
So it was quite challenging as a child. Do you have any sort of difficulties at your place?
Yes, I think because we have this very strict things about socks that we have to
Mm,
pull up our socks to a good length, like
right,
just that falls right below our knee. But if
right,
it's like ankle length or somewhat like that, we get
right.
scolded a lot for that thing.
Mm, right. How's the climate in your place?
It's good now. It's not that cold. It's I think 20 degrees Celsius right now, and
Mm,
in summers it's okay. It's not too hot, not too cold. Just good enough. It goes up to 40 degrees Celsius or 45.
right. Have you visited the southern part of India?
No, I didn't get the chance to.
Right. What's your ambition?
I want to do something that helps other people, some social work or work with the government or something.
Why not civil services then? You're interested in studies, you can pursue your studies, you can expand your, isn't it? You can expand and learn at the same time, you can contribute to the society.
Yeah.
Have you considered that option?
Yeah, I try to think of that, and my parents tell me that you should wait a little longer and see where are your interests going to be.
Correct, correct. Yes, something should resonate with you at a core
Yeah,
level. Then you'll be passionate about it, right? So you told me something about science and mathematics.
yeah.
Yes, so tell me what are the other subjects that you love learning?
I really love geography. Earlier, I didn't like geography at all, but now I have become fond of it. So geography is one of my favorite subjects.
Right, right. What about languages? Are you a quick learner?
I think so, but in our school we have three languages, that is English, Hindi, and Sanskrit. And English and Hindi are the languages that I'm really fluent in because we speak it on a very often. But Sanskrit, I'm not really fond of it. It's very difficult to learn, so I'm not fond of
Right.
Sanskrit.
During the olden days, Sanskrit was only language, and
Hmm.
Sanskrit is quite a challenging language. And
Yeah.
my native language, which is Malayalam, it has its many of the core words are from Sanskrit. So after Sanskrit, the most difficult language in the world is said to be Malayalam. That is my mother tongue, right? The
Wow.
pronunciations are also quite tricky.
Hmm.
Tell me a word in Sanskrit that you're familiar with.
Let me think.
Hmm.
Kupat. That is the word for well. A well.
Right. Oh, all right.
Hmm.
Okay. So you have to get a minimum score in Sanskrit?
No, there is no such system till class 8, but we do have a system for languages that is English and Hindi
Hmm.
from class 9 to 12. You have to have a good grade. I think the percentage is 45% or something like that, and that is the passing marks.
Right, right. Okay. So at school, the teachers explain all the subjects in which language?
It's usually in English, but sometimes when the topics are very difficult or really hard to learn, then they switch to Hindi so that the students get a better understanding of the topic.
Right. What about your friends? Do you all regularly converse in English or Hindi?
No, we did not converse in English. We only converse in Hindi because in that way we are able to express ourselves more clearly. But English, we are not able to express ourselves that clearly when we are talking with our friends.
But you seem to be quite confident and comfortable with English.
Yeah, but the thing is that the other person should also be
Oh,
comfortable in
right,
English,
right.
right?
Maybe you can inspire them and tell them how important it is to practice now so that
Hmm,
maybe initial 20s or late 20s, it's much more easier, isn't it?
yeah,
Right. So tell me some of your challenging experiences during your initial days at Clapingo. Today's topic is challenges, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
Tell me some of your challenging experiences initially.
Okay, so when I first joined, I was very shy and introverted. Whenever
Hmm.
the teacher asked me something, whenever the tutor asked me something, I just used to reply with a few words, like one or two words, like yes, or just one word. I did not want to speak up that much, and I think in that way I was not able to improve myself because I was not speaking at all. So how would I
Right.
improve myself? But then later on, I tried to change things about myself, and then I started improving because I started speaking more.
Right. So how are your normal sessions going on? Is it like the tutors asking you some questions and you're responding to it? Is that the normal pattern?
Yeah, they ask questions and we discuss it a little bit, and yeah,
Right.
that's how we do it.
Right. So now that you're a fluent speaker, I think maybe you can move on to the next stage. The next stage is how to start conversing to a stranger. So
Hmm.
here I was asking you a lot of questions. You never
Yeah.
asked anything about me, but I did
Yes.
volunteer, isn't it? So that's the art of trying to make a conversation. Now,
Hmm.
all conversations are not really insightful and meaningful, but however, in today's world, that will really makes a lot of difference.
Hmm.
So let's try that. Why don't you try initiating a conversation with me? Hmm.
Okay, so I told you a lot about these subjects in our school. So why don't you tell me your favorite subject at school?
My favorite subject used to be English, and that is why I am a tutor. And other than English, I think I used to enjoy learning geography. I'll tell you which was my least favorite. It was mathematics. I think I never had a good foundation in mathematics, and because of that, as I grew older, I was very fearful towards that language.
Hmm.
Right.
Okay. Even
Great.
I do not really like mathematics that much, but it's
Hmm.
okay. Right now, the level of the difficulty is not that much, so it's
Hmm.
okay for me. But I think later on, I am going to face difficulties because I'm not really having that good of a connection with mathematics.
I think that the major issue will be the same as mine. You don't have a good, strong foundation. The more
Yeah.
strong our foundation is, we'll be very confident.
Hmm.
Mm. Do you enjoy any other extracurricular activities, dancing, singing, any instruments?
Yeah, I
Something?
love to play the piano. I have a keyboard at home.
Right. Do you sing?
Yeah, sometimes.
Right, right. Have you ever participated in any competition?
Yeah, we I have participated in group songs at
Oh,
my
right.
school.
Right. So let me just give you my observations and then we'll continue. All right. So you are a very confident speaker. I loved your body language. Throughout the conversation, you was maintaining the eye contact. So I think you're doing great and no grammatical mistakes. In fact, you used or incorporated very good words. So for your age, you're doing amazing.
Thank you.
Now it is time for you to, as I told you, to go to the next level. It is
Hmm.
you can start initiating conversations with the tutor. When you're going to
Yeah.
meet the next tutor, you start initiating conversations, surprise them.
Okay.
You have
Yeah.
never tried that, isn't it? Have you tried that in the last session?
No, I
Really
haven't.
try that. And I can see a lot of books behind you. Is it yours or maybe your father's?
Yeah, I think a few shelves belong to my parents, but most of them are mine.
Tell me something about your family.
Okay, so I do not have a sibling. It's just me, my father, and my mother, the three
Hmm.
of us. And my mother is actually a government worker, so she is transferred to another city. So she
Right.
doesn't live with us, but my father lives with me here, and I live with him. But most of the time, he's in the office and I'm at the school. So we are quite separated, kind of, from one another.
Not really separated. You can say that
Yeah.
you're not able to spend much time together,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Oh, right. So currently, are you alone at home?
No, my father is back from his office.
Oh, right, he's there. All right. Who does the cooking for you?
We have hired someone for the cooking.
Oh, right. Okay, okay. Maybe you can learn cooking as well. I think you're very good in grasping things faster. You can try
Yeah,
your hand in that.
I tried to learn cooking with my grandmother, but she
Hmm.
just told me that you don't need to do anything because then you might burn your hand.
Okay, but my suggestion is learn some basic cooking. It will definitely be useful for you. I think once you start pursuing higher studies, you will be moving maybe abroad or maybe out of your city. So little cooking will come in handy.
Yeah.
Right. Any questions or observations? I've shared you some observations. So anything, any queries on anything that we discussed today?
I do not have any queries, but I want to say that your earrings are really pretty.
Which one am I wearing today? I forgot. Oh yes, I bought it online. It's called
Oh.
Lily. Lily. Right. You're learning the art of making conversations. I like that. All right. What are you planning to do after the session?
I have some homework to do in geography, so I'll do
Mm.
that after the session.
Do you all have a lot of projects?
We have projects that we have a particular number of projects assigned for every year. So we have four projects in every subject.
Right. Okay. So you are aware that I think in a couple of seconds the call will get disconnected.
Yeah.
Right. But it was such an amazing conversation. You are such a good learner. More than a learner, you're very receptive. And I love the way you coined a lot of sentences. We'll hopefully
Thank
we'll
you.
meet again. All right.
Yeah.
If not, all the very best.
Thank you.